Hey guys, long time no see. Update. It's very early, not very early, but it's 8:45. I've been up since 7. It's the last day of the semester was Monday. And I stayed on campus for a week to work. Real fun, feel like an adult. Who let me do that? And now it's Saturday morning. Got the Mighty Mouse, that's my car, all packed up to drive 3 hours back to Connecticut. It's been a busy semester, like it feels like it went by really fast. I literally from day one was busy. First day of the semester we started with auditions for the shows we did this semester, and I initially was supposed to stage manage one and then be in the other one. Our first show this semester was Shout the Mod Musical, which I actually submitted last year for this year, so I was really thrilled that we were doing it. And then also it was with one of my favorite professors / directors. And then the second show was an adaptation of The Velveteen Rabbit. There's a lot of stage adaptations of it. This was one by Elise Keslarik, I think is how you pronounce the playwright's name. So I was supposed to stage manage The Velveteen Rabbit, and I was going to audition for Shout, but then because they were so close together, the directors kind of started fighting over me. And then by the end of 2 weeks of callbacks and auditions and very heated discussions between directors, a lot of intense words were said. By the end of it all, I was in both shows and stage managing nothing. So I am a popular lady, which is kind of weird. Obviously as an actor that's what you hope for, but when it's two adults you really respect, because they were both my professors, I felt like I had to pick sides. There was a lot going on. I directed a play. That fucking happened. I'm so sorry if you're in college and you don't get along with your advisor, because I feel like that can make or break your college experience, and my advisor is literally my best friend. I love her. Last year, she got a grant from our Center for Diversity and Inclusion to do a series of LGBT plays, and seeing as this is a women's college, they're mostly lesbian plays, but we get to help pick them, and they're all student directed. So this semester, I directed 5 Lesbians Eating a Quiche, which is a full-length play. In rehearsal, it was like 55 minutes, but then the one night that it was actually performed, holding for laughter and applause, which is a great feeling as a director sitting in the audience. The first thing I've ever directed outside of acting and directing class. It was a really great feeling having the actors have to hold for laughter. That was really great. It ran about like an hour 15 with the audience there. It was a great experience. Stressful as all hell, because this show was in rehearsal on top of the other 2 plays. Like, we started beginning of the semester to perform it at the end of the semester, and the way we made that work was that we only rehearsed from 9:30 to 11:30 at night on Wednesdays and Fridays. So we rehearsed twice a week for, I don't know, 2.5 months. Not your normal rehearsal period, but it came together. So I directed it, students were in it. I can never look at quiche the same way again. Also, the dining hall eggs do not stand up to anything anymore because my advisor made the quiches for the show and they were really good. I wasn't in the dance show. We have a student dance works, which is student choreographers. I wasn't in it, but I assistant stage managed. I was ASM stage left. So that was another week of rehearsals I had to be at. Long, grueling tech period. A lot of time sitting in the dark. One of the cues was the dancers on stage sniffing, because it was about like gang violence and there was cocaine. At one point, the cocaine, which was a bag of powdered sugar, at one point during the run, the cocaine bag burst open and it got all over the stage and all over the psych. So that was fun having to clean up. Very sticky. There was just cocaine everywhere. I didn't actually stage manage on paper, but I stage managed, I don't know what to call it. We have this thing at the end of every semester called Frolic, and it's supposed to be a student-faculty thing, but really the only faculty that's involved is whoever we can convince to host it. But it's like an end of the year, like, talent show, if you will. And it's always themed. This year was movies. And as the president of our theatrical society, that was my responsibility to make happen. And I say I stage managed it. I was ASM stage left, but even though we had an actual stage manager, everyone came to me because I'm the president of the society hosting it. So I more or less stage managed that from backstage left. And then right before the grand finale, where there was live voting and someone had to be able to tell the hosts who to announce as the winners, my headset stopped working. I could hear everyone, but my mic cut out. So that was great. There was a lot of running back and forth. It was all good because it came together, and I felt like I was flying blind this semester because I don't have the organizational mindset to be the president of anything. So I didn't run for president, but that's because no one did, so I got nominated and elected, and they said you can't say no. So I've been the president of that for a whole semester, and there's a couple small fuck-ups, but in the end, all the receipts got submitted and campus police got paid, so it's fine. Yeah. It's just been a rough semester. I mean, besides being so busy, my anxiety for the first half of the semester was through the roof. That whole first week of school, I was on the verge of tears and felt like I was gonna puke 24/7. And I think a large part of that was over the summer I started birth control, and the birth control I started on was evidently not the right one for me. Because, is this TMI? No, it shouldn't be TMI. Let women talk about their periods. Let people with uteruses talk about their periods. Let's not be transphobes. It made my acne worse. It made me gain a ton of weight, which was fantastic after struggling all summer to lose it. So that made me feel terrible about myself. And then it was making my anxiety go through the roof, and I felt empty. I still feel empty a lot of the time. But upon further reflection, I think that's just me, and then the birth control heightened it. But around October, I switched to a different birth control, and I'm doing much better. My skin is looking probably the best it's been since before puberty. So that's stellar. What more could I ask for? It still made me gain even more weight, but what can you do? My anxiety is still pretty high all the time, but it's not as bad as it was the first half of the semester. And like I said, upon further reflection, I think that's just me. When I had my yearly checkup over the summer, my doctor basically told me, you should probably, you probably need therapy and medication. And I said, oh, don't I know that? And not like I'm promoting neglecting your mental health, but it's one of those things where it's so hard to make time in your schedule for it. And it should be something that I prioritize more than I do. But the thing that keeps my schedule full is theater. But the thing that gives me something that I feel like I have something to live for is also theater. So until I either like have fewer classes or have a better paying job, I can't work it into my schedule, because classes and job are two things that I can't move out of the way, and theater is the only thing that keeps me feeling like a regular person. So I found other ways to cope this semester. I've actually, compared to last year, I am doing a lot better. Like, my lows have been worse, but they haven't completely like knocked me down, like out for the count, skipping classes for a week. I only submitted like 2 assignments late this semester. One of them was like a short, like 1-page essay response that I completely forgot about. And then I emailed the professor, and she was like, yeah, that's fine. And she just like took 2 points off. And then the other one was a paper for my gender studies class. That was such a fun class. The other one was a paper that it just happened to fall at, it was due the end of Tech Week for the dance show, which was coming right off of Velveteen Rabbit, which was coming right off of Shout, because everything was scheduled so close together that we were in rehearsals for 2 shows at once the entire semester. And when there were rehearsals for Shout and Velveteen Rabbit at the same time, there was also rehearsals for 5 Lesbians Eating a Quiche, so I was in rehearsal for 3 shows at one time. It was a lot. It was a lot. I'm a stressed person. Last semester, I had really major, actually all of last year, I was submitting really major assignments really late. I'm talking papers that were due like the second week of the semester. I submitted the last day of classes. Thank God my advisor is my best friend, because she still accepted the papers and still gave me good grades and didn't take points off for lateness when I submitted them 3 months late. I'm aware that that is a really shitty way to get your work done. I was chatting with her about something in her office, and she mentioned how that class was going this semester. I asked her, I was like, why did you accept them so late? And basically, what it came down to was that she said, well, back in the dinosaur ages, when I was in college, I had professors that would accept my papers when I printed them out and brought them to their house months late. So I feel like I owe it to you guys to do the same. I'm so aware that at any other school and any other theater program, I probably would have failed out, which is not to say anything bad about our theater program. I think it speaks to the supportive environment, because our theater department is really small. I think there's less than 10 theater majors and minors combined. It's not audition based. It's a very supportive department. If we want to do something like produce totally wacky plays that we could never do on the main stage, there's no fighting for resources. The department can come up with the money and make it happen. I love our theater department. There's, it's got a lot of faults. I don't think anyone is without faults, especially because America's education system is kind of broken, even at private colleges. Capitalism, don't even get me started. There's just so many levels of fault. Let's hope I don't default on my loans. I like to think I'm talented. I work hard, I get parts, directors say I'm good to work with. And people ask me why I don't transfer, and I say because I like it here. I've been journaling a lot more than I usually used to do. Not necessarily consistently, but I've been using the same journal for almost exactly a year now. There's like some pretty big gaps between entries, but it's better than nothing. Gotta get the bad thoughts out somehow, and you can't always rant to your Tumblr followers, because some of those things you're like, oh, I should not say those things out loud. It's fine. It's fine. Mental health in college? Never heard of it. Never heard of it. I think I know legitimately one person at my school who doesn't have some form of depression or anxiety, and she's a bitch. She's really rude about it. She's like, never struggled with anything in her life. And she literally told me one time when I was telling her how hard it was for me to get work done, and she basically told me that if she procrastinated like I did, she'd kill herself. So apparently that's what it's like when you don't have anxiety. I gotta drive home. I haven't even eaten. I got a breakfast burrito. I got Wawa I got the new sugar and spice latte from Wawa. Not a fan. I'm gonna listen to my Rosie O'Donnell Christmas albums and drive 3 hours home. Try not to get my GPS redirect me to the Jersey Turnpike without me asking for that. I-95. See you sometime.